Ayman Khan here for Seconds Out with Eddie Hearn. A raucous atmosphere as two young lads who've competed for VIP tickets. But you spurred them on a side I've never seen to you. It's sweating and all.
Yeah, it's hot in here, but it was a great night. Feel good night. It's good, with all the negativity sometimes around the professional code. Great to see people in here that just come here for the love of the sport, changing their lives through boxing, learning, getting experiences, and it's a tremendous club. Like one of the biggest and best we've been to 100%. And I just hope people realise how important places like this are for the community.
Now, you had a feel-good moment with Deontay Joshua scoring what was a hellacious knockout against Robert Helenius in the 7th round. After that, there were the Saudis at the weekend looking to discuss the deal with Deontay Wilder. Can you give us an update on that deal and whether the talks have progressed?
There's actually a meeting going on right now in London, Frank Smith and Skills Challenge. Nothing's changed really. Everybody wants to make that fight for January. We're trying to get a deal done. I wouldn't say it's imminent, but we would like to move forward ASAP. AJ wants to stay active, which he's been very active lately, and hopefully we can conclude a deal.
I saw Shirley Finkel's comment saying that they're looking to conclude a deal for early next year, January, looking at the date for it. Does that mean that Deontay Joshua won't fulfill the 3 fights he wanted to fulfill this year if it happens in January?
Well, he would have fought 3 fights in 9 months or 8 months. So yeah, it would be, if we want to, run different times. But if we go to January for a fight of that magnitude, no problem. But just want to get it over the line.
My colleague Danny Flexen spoke to Frank Warren and he kind of said, look, that Tyson Fury fight is probably never going to happen between Tyson Fury and Deontay Joshua, and it's probably not worth the 40% that was offered beforehand. Your reaction to that?
I've seen the numbers on DAZN. Obviously, it was a great crowd on Saturday. He's one of the biggest stars in the world. Anyone that was lucky enough to get media credentials came down and saw just the magnitude of the event. So, I think they're going to say what they can say to try and avoid the fight or discredit, but it is what it is.
That new style of Deontay Joshua, look, it's getting a lot of criticism, but look, if you're looking to add strings to your bow against Deontay Wilder, is that the best thing to do to prepare yourself for a fight against him?
Work much better, defence much better. He's definitely not as reckless as he used to be, but I don't think you want to be reckless against Deontay Wilder, in all honesty. But you have to be active and you have to throw shots, and I think he's getting more confident. Helenius was a difficult start. We had 5 days to prepare for him. Took his time. One of the knockouts of the year. I don't know what more you can do. Maybe do it a little bit earlier, but there was a lot of pressure on that fight.
I just want to get your thoughts on also Ben Shalom's comments recently. He said that Matchroom Boxing and yourself specifically maybe have been disrupting his business. You set the table. Have you been?
I mean, he was caught with his pants down yesterday because obviously, he wants to give the impression that we're being disruptive. This is the 2nd time this has happened where he's pulled fighters out of a purse bid on the day of the purse bid. It's the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. You've got an opportunity for Richard Riakporhe to fight the number 1 in the division for a lot of money, and he pulled out on the day of the purse bid. Then he came out and said the reason that we pulled out is because we had another opportunity to fight for a world title. On the same day, Boxer emailed my co-promoter, Mick Francis, and said, unbelievably, please don't tell Matchroom, keep this between us confidentially, but we would like to offer Opetaya the fight against Riakporhe in London on September 30th. It's like, hold on, you've just pulled out of the purse bid. Firstly, you're disqualified from the IBF rankings in that respect of that process. Secondly, I thought you had another opportunity. Thirdly, you're going behind our back to try and make a fight after you just said we're disruptive and we don't want to work with anyone. It's the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. So they've been calling me today saying, please don't say any more. I think they're very embarrassed about the situation, but it is what it is. I feel like I've got to let you know because I thought what he said was bang out of order. The reality is they either haven't got the money or they don't want to risk their fighters fighting on another platform. It happened with Fraser Clark. It's now happened with Richard Riakporhe. They're losing opportunities. And, there's a lot of fighters out there that are getting bad advice, particularly putting them fighters in difficult legal positions that are actually costing them world titles and wins because their heads are completely scrambled. So I was really disappointed with those comments, and I know they were very embarrassed today, but I had to say, I don't want to go on and on, but I had to tell the truth because, I felt like that was a strange interview.
I said to your colleague Frank, look, I'm not wanting to be a middleman between the two, but Shalom offered to sit down and iron out any kinks between the two parties. Is that needed and is that accepted, that offer?
There's no kinks from us. We were negotiating a deal. We couldn't reach a deal. We were going to purse bid. It happens all the time. I mean, we get loads of stick when we lose a purse bid. Oh, Matchroom lost a purse bid. These guys ain't even going to purse bids. I can't believe the fighters are actually listening to him. Anyway, we move on. Happy to sit down. But what I'm not happy about is someone just talking absolute rubbish when the colleague is sending an email around the back trying to make the fight they're saying they don't want because they've got another fight a day after they've pulled out of purse bids. It's bizarre, but listen, let's all be happy.
Eddie, I'll ask you a bit of breaking news. Dan Raphael has released information regarding Alycia Baumgardner testing positive for performance enhancing substances. Don't have the name of the substance to hand, but your reaction to that?
Yeah, we're actually issuing a statement imminently, so I can't actually say too much on it. I probably would be able to in about half an hour. I'm happy to talk to you guys about it tomorrow. Like I said, at the moment, we are the promotional company that invests in a lot of money in additional testing, additional layers of testing. So unfortunately, there are going to be adverse findings that come up because of the level of testing that we're introducing. I know that other promoters, I'm not passing the buck, just aren't investing at that kind of level in testing. So you probably won't see as many from their fighters, but disappointing. And like I said, I can't say too much because of the confidentiality until a statement is released, but that will be in the next half an hour.
It's actually finally, Eddie. Look, a lot of people point the finger at yourself and lay the blame at you. That's what will happen. Can Matchroom have a harder stance when this happens? And is this what you want in the sense of? I mean, you've employed drug-free sport for it, so I guess this is
the hardest stance is to pay for the testing, which is what we're doing. I don't know what more we can do. We're not a commission. We're not a governing body. We can't adjudicate over a scientific medical result. But what we can do is make sure that fighters are tested as regularly as possible. And I think we're doing a tremendous job for that. Unfortunately, by doing additional testing, you will get additional adverse findings. So I don't know how we can quite get the blame for it, but maybe they'll find a way. But I think it's good if adverse findings are occurring when a fighter has an illegal substance in their body. Innocent or guilty, but they must be given the opportunity to then go through due process for that.
Appreciate it.